Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to Tubi 80's Horror Weekend. Now we're going to talk about 976 Evil. Should have had the phone up here to do a gag. This down there. Directed by Robert Englund. Yes. That Robert Englund. And starring Stephen Geoffreys, as in, "You're so cool, Brewster, and dinner is in the oven." Yes. Evil Ed from Fright Night. Took 3 smacks to the head. My memory. And the idea is, we don't know what 976 numbers are, or 967 numbers, whatever 976 numbers are. Everything had them back in the 80s and 90s. You call, you can talk to anyone. It's usually there's a sex phone number, or you can talk to people. There's like an Easter Bunny or a Santa Claus one. That thing. Yeah. And then this one, this kid named Hoax. I don't know why he's called that, but his name is Hoax. And he calls this number 976 Evil. And we find out that it's pretty much run by the devil, and Hoax eventually gets possessed, and yeah. So, the movie was fine, but there was just, I hate it. I don't know why we can't just have a nice horror movie without any kind of religious commentary. The mom in this is a religious zealot. She's always throwing out, "Oh God, when I want you to do this, and I'm not going to do that," and everything, and just. We don't, unless it's the movie's about Jesus Christ himself, we don't need to throw that into, especially horror. I know there's religious horror, stuff like Exorcist, or stuff like with like exorcisms, or demons and stuff. I get that, and this is demonic, I get it, but the overbearing religious mom trope is way overdone. Even at this point, when this came out in 1988 or whatever it was overdone. It had been done in Carrie before. It just, I don't know. When she started Bible thumping, I'm like, oh great, it's one of those. Sure, fine. I mean, to her credit, she is right. I also didn't care for the character of Spike. Family is family, but he treats his cousin like shit. Like, all he cares about is like getting laid. Like, it's very much two different sides of the coin here, and Hoax is the nice kind of guy who does good things and is nice to people, and he has Spike, who's a dick to everyone. And yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I think the actress who's playing Spike's girlfriend is Tracy from Freddy's Dead. I think. Her dad is also weird, because like there's a scene earlier where her and Hoax are sort of getting along, and there's an incident where the bullies show up for no reason other than it felt like we don't know how to end this scene. So the bullies show up and reveal he has I think he took a picture of when she and his cousin were doing it. You get some tits there, but I'm like, but he was on the other side, right? Because he has a little hole, the room, so and they're doing it. He's on the bed or whatever the hell they're laying on. It's rubber or something. And she's on top of him. Her back is to where Hoax would be. So if he took the picture, it would only be of her back. And really, her shirt's just open to show the tits. She's not naked or anything. So, what... I don't know. I'm assuming that's what the picture was. But she's like, "I thought you were different." And then she runs off. This is after we find out she's scared of spiders. So he goes home and performs some kind of demonic ritual to scare her with the spider. But then that second thoughts, and then kills the spider, and it kills her. I rewound it about 5 to 6 times trying to figure out how that works. It even says it was an accident. He didn't mean to do it. Didn't meant to scare her. He was trying to stop it, and it's another one of those cases where you have two characters who are the opposite of what they will eventually come. Spike's the dick, the jerk, the rebel of the cause, the guy that everybody hates. Whereas Hoax is the nice guy, the guy you want to like. By the end, Hoax is possessed by the devil, and Spike has to be the hero. Yeah. One of those things. Also, who the hell was the random girl that he's trying to sacrifice at the end of the movie? Because it's like he was going after, for lack of a name I can't think of, the girlfriend who's Tracy from Freddy's Dead. And all of a sudden there's this other girl that shows up and wasn't in the first half of the movie. It could be the principal, but I don't know. I know he's chasing her around, and it's like, who is this character? What? I will admit that it had a hard time keeping my attention through some of this. What I did saw I thought was okay. But I don't know. I will say that the effect of because he goes through, the tape is starting to distract me. He goes through different transformations. One is a basic little look, and they call it the Michael Jackson look, where he's a little more advanced, and then the straight demonic look towards the end. It also takes a weird turn in the middle where it starts following Robert Picardo, who runs the place, and it's like, why are we now with him? It's implied he's the devil because the hair on his bald spot is supposed to curl up. And at the end of the movie, it's implied that another person is calling the 976 number, so it's going to continue again. Which is a great way to set up a sequel, which did happen. Even though this bombed at the box office, but home video rentals were up, so sometimes that saves a movie, you know? Look at Tremors. Tremors was a bomb in theaters. The home video sales prompted it to have a direct-to-video sequel. And then that kept going. So, yeah. A problem I had is there's too much in between with this. Like, I'm sitting here watching this, and I'm wondering, where's this going? Because it's like, he finds this number, he calls it, and it's telling them their horoscopes, their future. One of them's like, be careful when crossing the street, and so he almost gets hit by a car or something. And then another one says, you're going to have a hot date, and he ends up hanging with Tracy, I don't know her name, that night. And again, the scene ends with the bully showing up and her finding a picture. I'm assuming it's a picture of her topless or something. Or maybe it's just smut in general. I don't know. Maybe it's the phone number and she thinks it's the sex number. At one point, the mom kind of questions that he's a heathen and he's doing that because apparently any number that starts with 900 is a sex phone number, even though that's not how it works. But it also rains fish at one point. Apparently when this was released, it was too long for the studio, because of course it was. Studios just won't leave stuff alone. So they cut 15 minutes out, including a scene where the fish had been put in the fridge, and then someone opens it and it all flies out at them. There's a sexual assault scene with Tracy. Apparently the bully sexually assaulted her after she left the diner, which explains why she's on edge during the spider scene. I don't know. That was taken out. Even the uncut versions that you can get on Blu-ray now aren't the full uncut versions because they don't add back in that scene. And to my opinion, you don't really need it. Apparently, you don't really need any of the scenes that were taken out. There's a bunch of extra stuff, extra longer shots, people walking, stuff like that, you know. I'm turning that way for some reason. Yeah. I will say, for Stephen Joffrey's, I do think his performance as Evil Bed was better. Evil Bed is what I said. Evil Ed was better. But he's good here. He's good. When he gets the shine, most of it is he has to play timid and tell the demonic presence. What I don't like is they mess with his voice to make it deeper. I don't think you needed that. And I think part of that is Robert Englund going, well, they modulated my voice when I was Freddy, so let's do his. But it just, I don't know. It reminds me of Spiral. Hello, Detective Banks. That's what it reminds me of. The kind of voice. What else is there to say? This was another one that I sought out because our old pal CCH, Planet CCH, Christian Horror, whatever you want to call him, he did a video on it's now a out of print Blu-ray, and I looked it up. It is a bit expensive, so I found it on Tubi. So I put that on the list because I kind of wanted to watch it, and it's not bad. I'll give it a middle of the road. It definitely had potential. It got a sequel. Good for that. I couldn't find it anywhere, so won't be covering that. But it did get a sequel on direct-to-home video with Spike coming back. Same actor too, Patrick O'Brien, playing Spike coming back. Which makes sense because it's kind of abrupt. Spike kind of talks Hoax into kind of breaking free. He does, and then it cuts to this 976 phone line, someone else calling. So it's like, okay, there's a way to continue this. Spike kind of needs to get revenge for his cousin's death, you know? So I could see that. But, yeah. So what are your thoughts on 976 Evil? Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Scott, and I'll see you in the next. Went through almost the whole video without yawning. I'll see you in the next one.